Alrighty, everybody. My name is David Slivka, and this is my final presentation for Creative Industries Career Management. I'll try not to talk too fast, but I have a little over 25 slides and a 7-minute time limit. But just a little bit about myself. I'm a journalism major who's an aspiring legal professional, and I used a judicial clerkship as a lot of the kind of jobs I'm looking for after graduation throughout the different assignments in this course. Here's a table of contents. I'm just going to go over my goals and skills, and then the accomplishments and downfalls of each with a little wrap-up conclusion at the end. Here are my 5 goals, but just hopping into it. Networking was the first one I set. I think it's really important to meet people in my intended field of work. Can also help with getting into school and different job prospects and whatnot. Due to COVID, I basically just use LinkedIn as a tool for that. Building a portfolio is next. I think it's important, no matter what kind of candidate you're trying to be, to have a strong portfolio going into the workspace. And planning on meeting with the Career Center to build on that. Studying for the LSAT was my third goal. Taking the exam after I graduate is the plan. So studying now is kind of crucial, and I have that Barron's LSAT test prep book as my main tool. Taking initiative is my next one. I think this is just important for all aspects of my life, so I don't miss any opportunities, and I get everything done in the most stress-free manner. And I wasn't too sure going into this how I'd accomplish it, but you'll see later how I ended up working on it. Next, my last one is finding internship opportunities. I think it's really important to get firsthand legal experience, although as hard as it is without going into law school first. I also plan on using the Career Center and my legal studies minor advisor as a tool for this. The 5 skills I have listed here, but let's jump in real quick. Professional writing is the first. I wanted to use this it's really important in at least a professional environment, like a workspace, to be able to operate and communicate through professional writing. So just using LinkedIn Learning, which is formerly known as lynda.com, as a tool for that was key. Next is analytical and logical reasoning. I think these are really big tools, just as anyone who works in law, just for being fair and good and true to what you're doing. And I picked up a book called Studies in Deductive Logic for Students by W.S. Jevons to kind of improve on this. Working under pressure is another thing I think I'm good at, but also there's a lot of area of improvement for basically everything, um, just so I can handle everything presented to me in a timely and organized manner. And I found a little listicle that I'll speak on a little bit later as well. My fourth skill is understanding people. I think being able to strengthen the skill will help me understand people and their situation they're in, especially when the court decisions that can happen can really affect people. It's just great to have a good ability to read people. And then lastly is commercial awareness. Developments in business and law and other areas directly impact law firms and their clients. So having an understanding of this is pretty important. And I intended on using some online coursework to kind of build up on this. But looking at the accomplishments and downfalls for the goal of networking, I focused solely on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, I lost a screenshot of when I first started because I got a new phone, but I ended up gaining 176 connections during the course of this project, basically over doubling that, and found a lot of people that I've been able to reach out to in the legal field. Next is building a portfolio. I was not aware of the assignment in this class relating to this, but I ended up utilizing it to get a solid legal cover letter and resume going, which I think helped me accomplish this goal greatly. Next is studying for the LSAT. I wasn't able to put up a top 10 list of law schools like I originally put in my initiative semester assignment, but I do have a top 3 listed on the left. And I think this was the hardest one I was faced with. I did not use the practice exam. Not only did I think I didn't have enough time to do well on it, but I only have one, so I want to use that pretty wisely. But I did register for the Kaplan prep course this spring. Next one is taking initiative. I believe I've done this to the best of my ability. Not only have I registered for that Kaplan course, but this presentation should hopefully show that I've reached this goal, even with all the downfalls that I will and have spoken on. Next is finding an internship. Unfortunately, my legal studies advisor was no help, but the Career Center gave me some great advice for looking on to different resources. Actually, this screenshot is from a certain law internship I applied to, that I found on the political science department CSU website. My first skill again is professional writing. I did take this LinkedIn course for writing case studies. Case studies are very important in the legal world. They happen all the time. So just being able to sharpen on this, I think, was really key, as well as being able to do that specific resume and cover letter assignment again. Next skill is analytical and logical reasoning. Again, this is that book I was speaking on. I ended up reading through it. Had some really great charts and diagrams and tips. Because it was aimed for students, I got to learn a lot from this really great tool. The next skill is working under pressure. I think this is something I thrive in, but again, there's always room for improvement. And I did read a listicle that had 18 different ways of working under pressure. I kind of had this pulled up in my favorites on my computer, and I check in on it all the time to refresh um, all of these 18 tips and keeping that in mind to help me whenever I am trying to utilize this skill. Next is understanding people. I found a website called skillsyouneed.com with some really good, like, long form articles. One I took on understanding others and another on political awareness. Just kind of helped me understand two different um, tools for comprehending, like, empathy and where people are at, giving me a lot of insight. And next is that commercial awareness. I took the Open University course called Commercial Awareness, which really helps me understand kind of business and whatnot in that process, as well as I edited my news aggregators and the preferences there to pull more business and legal issue stories and articles on my news feeds when I do check in on those. And just in conclusion, honestly, this project has been really, really great at showing me how much effort it takes to accomplish skills and goals, even in like a 15-week period time. I also think it gave me a lot of insight as to what more I want to achieve and the resources I found here that can help me, work on different ones later, or even fine tuning some of these 10 I presented through this project, as well as just being able to learn about myself and how I can manage time and how well that can go because of like how this is at my own pace project. One of the first things I've done here that set up my own pace. So I appreciate you all for watching my presentation and good luck with finals.